Alright, we're going to change the air filter on the F250 diesel. I got a new one from Napa. Here's the part number, 26417. It's $50 stock air filter. So, let's see if we can... I was going to change my fuel filter, but I don't like doing that when the engine's hot. And I was going to change my oil, but I don't feel like doing that in the dark. So I'm going to wait until I get the Tacoma out of the shop and we'll do the fuel filter, which is right on the center there. And then I don't know if these have PCV valves. Those are good to change. And I'm going to clean that map sensor or temperature sensor. That'll help. And yeah, we're getting somewhere now. Oh, I gotta change the oil too. Alright, we got the F250 back in the shop. It's been about 3 weeks since I rebuilt the front end and got it inspected. Now what we're gonna do finally is change the oil. It's overdue. And I am running a Motorcraft filter. It's FL1995. Oil filter, and then Shell Rotella 1540. I bought 2 of the 2.5 gallons. I'll have to look up exactly what it takes, so I'm not entirely sure, but get that changed. And then we're gonna also change the fuel filter, which is right here. Bought one of those. You already saw me put the air intake air filter on, so yeah, goal for today is to get fuel filter and oil change before I freeze in here, so truck doesn't fit too well. Oh, and I also have to the top ball joints never took grease. They had some factory grease in there, but I'm going to change out the Zerk fitting on those. They're 90-degree fittings, so I just went to Harbor Freight and bought this kit. It has all the fittings in there, and then I also bought the metric kit. I have that somewhere because I'm not sure if they're metric or standard, but we'll find out. Alright, well, I have had this thing warming up for about 45 minutes, so let's drain the oil. Got my big pan down there, and let's get it drained up. Alright, so we got the fuel filter out. I don't know if this has a water separator. If you guys know, let me know if I need to drain that out, but I don't see any water in there. We also have like a pretty big leak down in there. I'm going to tighten up all the hoses that are go to it, because there's like some regular auto hoses. But for comparison, you know, this doesn't look crazy bad, but you want your fuel clean. So it's definitely time to change it. These are $26 or something at Napa. And the part number on this is 3817. So unfortunately this new one doesn't have a cool little 1/2-inch drive on it. But alright, well, I'm just gonna press this one in there. It seems simple enough. Okay, that's all done, fuel filter. So what I do with these oil filters is I'm going to lubricate the top seal and then I'm going to fill it up with oil before I twist it on. It's kind of hard to show you guys, but let me see if I can show you what it looks like. You got to come under your driver's side here and the it's right up there. And we'll screw that on, fill it up with oil. Well, since the F250 towed so well yesterday, I decided to go pick up my truck. It's been down for 3 months and peed a little bit on the way here. Now okay, so it's many months later from the last video, and I was driving this and in my yard actually, which is good, and I was trying to pull the backhoe and it just went out of gear and started grinding, and I was like, what the heck's going on? You know, I blew up the transmission. Turns out I crawl into the back and all these bolts holding the transfer case, this is the automatic transmission and the transfer case bolts hit, all the bolts were out and the whole thing was slid back. So it was grinding on the splines. So I mean, there's a gasket in there, you can see it's actually ripped. And I noticed it because I was adding automatic transmission fluid and it was just leaking like crazy. And I guess the two are tied. I didn't realize that. Some transfer cases are different. They take like a gear oil. But anyways, I put 3 of the 6 bolts in and drove it home. And then went on eBay and got the rest of the bolts, and they all had Loctite on them, which is odd. So anyways, I just put the rest back in. I did buy a new gasket, but I need to use this truck right now, so I'm going to assume it's all okay. And that gasket seems like it's sealing, so at some point we'll pull it apart and assess the splines that we're grinding and change the gasket, but don't really have time to do it right now, so I'm gonna risk it. So I just finished putting the bolts in, and we're gonna work on the toolboxes. Alright, so I got the toolboxes repainted and mounted. I'm using the, what do you call these, the channels for the stake sides, and just putting some angle iron on there, nothing crazy. And there's a piece of angle iron that goes down, then I'm gonna drill a hole this way and pinch it. I got one in the corner and one here. I'm gonna probably do a through hole right here into the aluminum because it is a little bit forward wobbly, but I might even use pins because I want to be able to take these off like fairly quickly, so I've been kind of trying to figure out how to do that. But we're gonna get some white lithium grease on this piano hinge. And then I'm gonna clean this out and put I have some of that stuff you put in your kitchen cabinets or toolboxes, I guess, and it prevents like the tools from just rattling. And I'll probably build like some wood compartments in here, but yeah, it's kind of a shame too, like these are gonna get super dirty. Work that grease in a little bit, but yeah, and I need to get them rekeyed too. It's probably the same key for both of them, that's what I'm hoping, but it sucks there's, you know, 2 locks per each one, so there's 8 locks total because I have another one. So a lot of people don't lock these and then you get all your stuff stolen, but I'm not sure what I'm doing yet. They do sell I think a kit, but some of these come with like a remote you can put on your key fob to unlock them, which is pretty sweet. So maybe I'll look into that in the future or make my own or something. But and I still want to get a toolbox for down there, but it's looking pretty sweet. Trying to make it a little more utilitarian. Well, utilitarian's a bad word. Trying to make it a little more utility driven. So, thanks guys.